This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Steph, and I'm taking over Tuesday. Rob gave me his channel, and I am taking it. Now, last week I had started my top 50 favorite games of all time, but since it's the end, it was the end of March, so I figured I'd skip a little bit and just jump right into my top 10 favorite games that I learned in March. I'll get back to the top 50 in the next episode. Thank you. So, March was an excellent gaming month for me. I learned 41 games and I had a great time. I played a bunch of awesome games and I played some not so great games, but there was a con before everybody got quarantined, so I got to go to a con and I was super careful and used sanitizer and all that stuff. Everybody was super careful, but we still had fun. We played games and had fun before we all got shut in for this quarantine that's happening right now. But, you know, other than that, I still got to learn a whole bunch of games in March, and it's been going great. So coming in at number 10 for my favorite games from March is Aftershock. Aftershock, San Francisco and Venice. So there's a double-sided board in the game, and you get to choose what you want to play. And depending on the number of players, you might have to pick one side or the other based on the setup of things. So it's by Alan Moon and Bobby West. And it definitely looks like a Ticket to Ride kind of game. If you're just looking at the map, you see the connections from place to place, and you put little like bridges down on the board. So instead of trains, you have bridges. But the mechanics of the game is very different. You are like choosing cards to keep every round, and you have to pay for the cards. But the cards you don't choose, you're putting up for auction for other people to buy. And everybody has like money that they can spend, and it all comes down to most money at the end of the game. So you want their money, you want them to buy your cards, but you don't want to give them good cards because these cards will give you population for the board, allow you to build bridges and all these different things. And you're trying to gain majorities in all these different regions on the map every round. And so the game plays out pretty quickly because it's over in 3 rounds. And it's actually quick and fun, and it plays, I guess with the expansion, it could play up to 6 players. I'm not sure I'd want to play with 6 players because it would just take a little bit to go around the table and auction things off. But I played with 3 and I absolutely loved it, so it's definitely one I'll be looking forward to playing again soon. Number 9 is Off de Volts. Okay, I think I said that right. Maybe I'm not German. But I think what that translates to is on a walk, on a journey, going on a walk, something like that. And so it actually, in the game, you are doing just that. You are exploring the board and picking up these odd jobs, and you're trying to collect these different colorful sticks. And it's actually really interesting. Now, there's probably one too many mechanics going on in this game, and could have been developed just a tiny bit. But for the most part, I really enjoyed what I was doing because you're expanding this huge board and you're creating this like map of these different connecting towns, if you will, and people will reveal on their end, but it's a community map, so if they see something they want on your side of the board, well, they can spend the movement to get there and get what they might need. And so I pushed my luck a whole bunch, and I rolled and tried to get more valuable, colorful sticks. So you're trying to collect these different colorful sticks, and so I think the yellow was the best, or the white was the best, and you're trying to do all these different things. But for the most part, you're managing this hand of cards. And so these cards will tell you how far and how many actions you get each round, and everybody has the same cards, but you shuffle them all together for your own deck, and you draw so many each round. By the end, everybody will have played the same number, same cards as everybody else, but you might not get the cards you need at the time you need it. So it's all about figuring out what works best. There's a lot of planning. It's an impressive game. I liked it. My number 8 is Exit, the Haunted Roller Coaster. Now, in general, Exits haven't really been my favorite escape the route type games, but this one really impressed me. The puzzles were great. It was very innovative. I felt like I was offering my thoughts, and it worked out. I'm usually the one just kind of sitting there like, well, blah, 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 but I get talked over generally, or I can't think of what they're thinking of, so this one, I could actually figure it out, and I felt felt good about it. And I really love the roller coaster theme, the amusement park. I think that's really fun. Kind of reminded me of like Final Destination 3, if you've seen it. But I would definitely recommend this one if you're a fan of the escape the room type games and exit. If you haven't checked all the exit games off your list, this is one that you should definitely look at. Number 7 is Brainwaves, also from Cosmos. Now this is a new series of games, and I played the Astute Goose. Now it's a memory type game, and it's from Ryan and Knizia, which is awesome. And so you have to remember every little detail on each card that is put out. So there's a lineup of cards. Everybody gets to look at them for some period of time, and then so you try to remember the color of the shirt detail, the animal on the card, and then eventually, once everybody decides that they're ready, the cards will go face down. You're going to roll the dice, and it's going to tell you a number and an animal maybe, or the color, and you have to line up. If the lines are 1 through 6, you have to find the 6th card because you rolled a 6. And the animal on the 6, you have to be like, okay, that was a dog. And then you reveal to yourself, and if it's a dog, you get to keep it as a point. If it's not, then other players will get to try and guess what animal's on that card. And so there's 5 different colors, 5 different outfits, 5 different animals. So there's a whole bunch of combinations of cards, and and as soon as the card is gone, you replace it with a new one, everybody gets to see. So if you're moving at a quick pace, these cards are going in and out, and you're like, oh my god, I can't remember anything. It's amazing how many points. I mean, I think I ended up getting 6 points, and I think that's pretty good considering these cards are going in and out so fast. So that was a lot of fun. My number 6 is probably one many have heard of. It's called Eldritch Horror. And, well, Arkham was my gateway game. It's a game that got me into the hobby. It got me thinking, what else is out there? Because I didn't really love Arkham Horror so much, but I was playing it a whole bunch. And so Eldritch Horror came out many years later. I was in a no co-op mode. But nowadays I've been playing a bunch of co-ops, so I've been wanting to try it out again. It definitely gives you the Arkham Horror feeling. You're moving around to these different locations. There's gates that are opening and monsters coming out. It did feel a little bit more streamlined, which is good. It was still the same length of time. I mean, we lost pretty quickly, so it was quicker than a normal Arkham game because we just lost horribly. We were really bad at managing our stuff. But it's definitely what I would want to play again. I think there's a lot going on, and I just scratched the surface. Number 5 is Campy Creatures. This is a light filler kind of party game. You are with amazing art. The art is fantastic. I love what Keymaster Games is doing with this, and the art is fantastic. Everybody has the same hand of cards, and every round everybody will pick a card simultaneous and reveal. Now there's a tie-breaking mechanic that as soon as you break a tie, you go to the bottom of the chain, and then it keeps going like this. As soon as someone wins a tie, they use their tiebreaker, and then so there's going to be a lot of different ties that are happening as people are playing the same value card, and there's different abilities on the card, and you're trying to gain these revealed cards on the table, playing cards from your hand. So you're trying to collect these different things using the cards in your hand, and it's just very quick and very fun. Very easy to play. It's perfect for like Halloween and stuff because of the theme and everything. So it's definitely one I want to add to my collection. Number 4 it was a huge surprise to me. Let's just say that. It is Daedalus Sentence. Now this box is absolutely huge. It's like 2 by 2 by like 4 inches or something. It's huge. The game is big. Because there's tons of minis in it. There's a nice little insert, and then there's like a huge board, and so the appearance is awesome. I mean, Eagle Griffin Games did fantastic with the production of this game. Now I thought it was just like minis game, just a typical whatever. But there's a lot more going on in this game. It's you and everybody else that you're playing with, the cooperative game, are trying to get out of this like station, if you will, and you're working together to explore the different rooms, kill the different aliens, and just find the exit. If somebody gets caught, they go back to their cell and you have to go get them to get them out. I mean, there's a lot of planning, a lot of different things happening. You want to work together, and you really have to work together because everybody has so many actions, and so you might do half of what needs to get done, and somebody else might have to meet you and do the other half. So, it's very critical that you work together, and it's really a cool little game, and it's always going to be different because the randomization of the cards, the randomization of all the rooms, the whole setup is quite awesome, and I had a great time playing. It was actually relatively quick, and I wasn't thinking it would be that fast. So that also was an improvement in my mind because I don't like 4-hour slogs. So this was probably about 90 minutes, and that really works for me, and I look forward to playing that one again. Number 3 is the beautiful Zoned Out. Now, Zoned Out is a city building game with vibrant art. I love it, love it, love it. Everybody gets these awesome acrylic pieces that you're going to be building up this city. I mean, that's probably mostly for show. It's definitely a gimmick. You don't need to have the nice city pieces. However, you need them because why not, right? Because they're awesome. And so what's going to happen is you have a hand of cards, and they all have 4 quadrants on one card, and you're going to play this card on your turn. And then you're going to move your planner to that card. Now, if you play the card to your region and it stays in the same region, you get to just move your planner over one. As soon as the planner moves off of a region it's in, you're going to score that region. You want more blocks on your region and to get more points. So if you have 1 block, you get 1 point. If you have 3 blocks, you get 9 points or 6 points or something. I don't know. The triangular series, you know what it is. I don't remember things off the top of my head. I need to see a chart. But the more you can get in the block, the better. And so you're competing for different zones and regions, and then there's a couple goal cards that are out that you're working towards, and then everybody is hitting goals that will be revealed that everybody can score at the end of the game. So you definitely want to make sure you're working towards your own personal goals too. So there's a lot going on. Turns are very quick. It's very nice because you have a hand of cards. You can kind of plan out what you're going to do. You draw one at the end of the turn, and then you can start looking and figuring out how you're going to cover regions. It's awesome. It's a great city building game. And if you know the game Expansity, I would almost directly compare it to that. But this one I would much rather play because of the ease of play, and it's just more streamlined, which I like. Number 2 is very exciting for me because I played Thanos Rising a few years ago, and so when I heard Harry Potter Death Eater Rising was coming out, I was like, yes, that is what I want. I love the theme of Harry Potter, and it did not let me down. I'm a huge fan of this game. It is super challenging. If all the Death Eaters come out at the beginning of the game, you are almost certainly doomed. However, maybe you'll get lucky and then you'll have several rounds with no Death Eaters. But if they overpower you, you will die. And so it's a cooperative game to overtake the Death Eaters and Voldemort, and it's dice, and you're recruiting characters, and there's so much happening, and I really love it. So I'm very excited to play this one more. We lost immediately in one game, and we won the next game with a lot of push. It was almost doom, but we managed to balance it out at the very end and take the win. So that was awesome. And my number 1 game that I learned in March was Quirky Circuits. I think I'm about 15 plays in right now, and it is amazing. Not only are the little miniature figures fantastic, but the whole gameplay is fantastic. It is a cooperative game to plan and program this robot on this book story map. So if you're familiar with Plaid Hat Games, they have a series of games using a big book that will be like a scenario. Every time you flip the page, it'll be a new scenario. So that's what happens here. Every time you flip a page, you'll have a new scenario with a new robot. Well, I think each robot has maybe 5 scenarios, and then there'll be special ones at the end for more complex. I'm not sure. I haven't got that far yet. But we worked through the first 2 robots, and there's different cards that come into play. But what happens is there's a deck of cards, so you know what your teammates have, sort of. So you know that if they have a turn card, it will be a turn symbol. You don't know which way they can turn. Maybe they're doing a full 180, or maybe they're turning right, maybe they're turning left. You don't know. So when they play that card, you hope you know. But we are playing cards together to try and get the robot where it needs to go. So in the entry-level games, we want to clean up the dust. So we're vacuuming the house, and we're trying to go collect the dust bunnies. And, you have to be on the same wavelength as everybody else, because you have to figure out what they're doing so you don't mess up with the cards that you're playing. And it's super challenging, because as soon as you get a little bit in, you'll start getting yellow cards, which have to be played first. And if you have a yellow card, everybody knows probably what yellow card you have. So you have to play that one first, and they would have a better idea where you're going, because I think there are 2 yellow cards that are the same and 1 that's different. So you have 2 different options if it's a yellow card, basically. And so that carries through for the next robot as well. So the different actions that you're taking with the different robots, and it's so much fun, and I look forward to playing the rest of the book, and it's really great. And so I had a great gaming month, and Quirky Circuits was on top. So thanks everyone for watching, and I promise next week I will be back with more from my top 50 of all time.
The end of the game, and you could get this from Miniature Market, right, Grandpa?
You can get this from Miniature Market. That's right.
Yeah, everything you need. Bye.